Hello there! Welcome to the Curiosity Shop, a mailbag for Zelda Dungeon. A video mailbag for Zelda Dungeon. As if you hadn't figured that out yet. This is our Q&A. UQIA. Get it? UQIA. As in the letters? God, that was lame. Anyway, I'm your host, Axel the Beast, and if you go to the Zelda Dungeon forums, you probably know me. I mean, it'd be kind of weird if you didn't. I mean, I'm on all the time. I'm a moderator. Like, I got loads of friends. Everyone loves me. And, if you don't go to the forums, like if you're one of those guys that just hangs out on the site, or if you're one of those people that are on YouTube, those YouTube people, then, you don't know me at all, probably. That'd be surprised if you did. Be cool if you did. But, yeah. And I'm not going to give you my life story. I mean, some of you might be like, whew, he's not going to tell me about himself. And others are like, no, I want to know about this guy I've never met. But no, one of you gets to be relieved, the other gets to be disappointed. But the point is, I'm not telling you about myself. Which means we better just jump right into those questions. Speaking of which, they're not about the site Zelda Dungeon. They're not about dungeons in Zelda games, and they're not about the Curiosity Shop. They're just about Zelda. So the name is kind of weird. So, yeah. Question time. Alright. Jetter asks, what transportation vehicle do you think will be in the next DS Zelda? Alright, that's an interesting question. Some of the theories I've been hearing is that, they're interesting theories. They hold a lot of water, in my opinion. That, there's kind of like a trend going on with the DS Zeldas, and if they make a third one, it will continue the trend. And 3, get it? Third 3. I don't. That's why I think one of the reasons I think the theory holds a lot of water, because it's the number 3. You know, 3 goddesses, the Triforce, the, whatever. Basically, the idea is that because there's been 2 DS Zelda games, one had the boat, and I know Wind Waker had a boat, but this is talking about the DS games. Their trend, their little trilogy, their Triforce of DS. The idea is that they had the first game, Phantom Hourglass, where you had the boat, the steamboat, and it traveled across water. And then they had Spirit Tracks, where you had the train that traveled across tracks, across land. So the idea is for the third one, there's going to be a plane that will travel through the air. A plane. Yes. Link is going to have a biplane, or a fighter jet, or a stealth jet. You'll fly through the skies on a brave desperado mission to bomb the shit out of Ganon's castle. No. I don't see the plane happening. I mean, they could do a hang glider. Wouldn't work. I mean, imagine the hang glider. Mental picture. Link on a hang glider. And then you could do the Deku Leaf. That wouldn't work either, because you'd have to fly across the whole world map. Remember the Deku Leaf in Wind Waker? It didn't work. Now, did it? No. No. That would not let you travel across a long distance. So, there's still some water to... That theory still holds some water, though, because, they do have that trend going. So, what if they did a balloon? What if they had a freaking balloon? What if you flew in a hot air balloon across the skies? The Legend of Zelda, the hottest balloon. That sounds pretty dirty, but whatever, you get my point. I mean, they could do an airship or a zeppelin. I just don't think it's going to be a plane. I mean, it's not the technology thing. Zelda's messed with the technology quite a bit. But, that's what I think. I think, but you know what, I would like it if the next DS Zelda, or just a next Zelda game in general, skip the idea of a transportation vehicle. And I'm not talking going back to the horse. What I think they should do is I think they should ditch the horse. Because in Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Twilight Princess, the games where they use the horse, the world maps had one thing in common, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. The world maps were open, they were fields, they were all fields, and they were barren. There wasn't much to do. And they weren't very interesting. And that goes along with having the horse. And worse off, they were hubs. They took you to one area on one end and another area on the other end. That didn't necessarily go along with the horse, but the field and barrenness does. You can't ride across complicated terrain. It didn't work. So I think they should go back to, like, the early games. I think we should have on-foot travel in complex, interesting terrain. Twilight Princess graphics, maze-like, intriguing environments to traverse. That would be so cool. Imagine that. Imagine that. Just think about it. And suddenly you'll think, screw the horse, screw the boat, screw the train, screw the plane, screw the balloon. Give me some boots and a map. Or something. That didn't make any sense. Yeah, so that's what I want them to do. And that's my whole elaborate opinion on your question. Good question, Jetter. I like that question. I think that's, that dominated this whole thing. So we better hurry and get on to the other questions before I run out of time. Athenian200 asks, is there any truth to the rumor that Link's main weapon in Zelda Wii will be a crossbow rather than a sword? No. There's no truth to that. At least not proven. Miyamoto's talked about, he said in an interview that, like, what if you had a crossbow instead of a sword in the next game? And the guy reviewing says, like, you're gonna replace the sword with a crossbow? And Miyamoto was like, or that's what I imagine he did. I know he laughed, and that's what I picture when I hear the guy laugh. That's just how I roll. So, I think that was just rhetorical. I mean, think about it. Listen to how that went. That was rhetorical. I think, he's talked about, he's like, the new Zelda game's gonna be revolutionary. It's gonna change the face of Zelda. And then he went right back on and said, oh, it's not gonna be that different. No, I was just kidding. You silly. No, yeah. I think he's just screwing with us, and I think that's pretty apparent. I think he's screwing with us and trying to drum up hype. He's just playing. And you'll notice he stopped talking. He stopped talking. It's been agey. And I trust that guy. That guy knows what he's talking about. He knows his salt. He knows stuff worth his salt. Oh, God. At any rate. Now, what if they did a gun, or at least a crossbow? That's basically a bow shooting, an arrow shooting gun. What? Would that work? No! You'd have a first-person shooter. That betrays everything that has to do with the spirit of Zelda, don't you think? I mean, come on! It doesn't work! I can't believe people are actually considering it. I mean, not to be rude. People can think what they want, but I just think it's kind of an outlandish concept to be thinking about. You can't go and gun down Ganondorf. He doesn't stand a damn chance, does he? Well, so the answer's no. You'd need. I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe it unless they gave me some good evidence. And Miyamoto, if he said it, would definitely have to produce some substantial evidence for me to buy it from him. I'm serious here. Yeah. Alright. Last question. Jesper asks, should Zelda play bigger roles in games other than being captured? Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it's the traditional idea. Damsel in distress, princess, gets saved by the hero, the knight, or just the freaking hero. Boring, poor hero. And the hero saves princess from dragon, or, in this case, giant demonic pig. I think, that they could do some cool stuff with it. I don't see any reason why they need to change it. I mean, they can do some interesting stuff with the idea of her not getting captured. Some people have proposed the idea of her being playable. I don't like that. I mean, I'm not trying to be sexist, but I'm not at all, actually. But, I just don't like the idea of playing as Zelda throughout a whole game. I don't even like... I mean, what would she do? I mean, some people have said she could turn into Sheik and stuff, but think about it. Sheik would play a lot differently than Link. He's a ninja. He's not a warrior. And not necessarily that it wouldn't be cool, but I just don't think it would be Zelda. Maybe a spinoff. That might be cool. Spinoff, sure. But, yeah. And they would have to spend a lot of time polishing it, or else it wouldn't be good. And since it wouldn't be its own game, there would be a lot of it would be a small part of the game. There'd be a lot of other stuff, and they wouldn't have the desire or the time to polish it to make it worthwhile. That's my opinion. And yeah, So I think, yeah, go ahead. Make Zelda, give her a different role in the games. That'd be pretty cool, I think. Just make sure that the plot makes sense and Ganon's actually doing something. Because, you know. Alright, so that's it for this time. Next week, we'll probably be doing this, another video. And we also do these text ones that you can read. But you have to read them. You have to do some work. You don't just get to sit and watch. And, yeah. So you'll have to send us questions or else I won't have anything to answer. If you look over there in the description, if you're on YouTube, or up there, or down there, if you're on the site, there should be some text, and there should be an email, and you should send us questions. But they gotta be Zelda related. They can't be about the site. So do that. And see you guys later.